How's it going, everyone? Welcome, welcome. Let everyone gather on in. How's it going? So it's been a while since our last live stream. The last one was actually at the GX launch in Austin, Texas. So this is the first one back in the garage. Got a new camera set up for the live stream. So how does it look? Hopefully it looks a little bit better than my laptop iMac or whatever this thing is, the MacBook webcam. So I'll be looking off screen a little bit to put comments on screen, but this is like the first step to making live streams better on the channel. So what do you guys think? Does the quality look good? Can you hear me okay? How's it going, everyone? Don't know if you're still in here, but I appreciate it. You getting back on the recap. And how's it going? What is up, Kayleen? Keelan? How's it going, guys? So we'll let more people come in. If you guys are new to live streams or anything like that, basically what we do on the channel is we just sit down and we just BS. We just talk about things, Toyota, other things, business adventures, real estate people ask sometimes. Sometimes politics gets trickled in, or what do I think about certain things? And I fire the questions back to you guys as well. That way you fill them up in the comment section. But basically, the live streams, they'll last anywhere from an hour, sometimes 2 hours. I did this one a little bit earlier than normal. Usually we do it at about 7 o'clock or so. But I just felt like getting on there now and doing this to say, hey, guys, I'm back. Had a couple weeks for a vacation. And the content starts tomorrow with a video very early in the morning, if you guys catch my drift. And you guys will enjoy that video tomorrow. So basically how we do this is I'll get pretty far behind in the comment section as this starts to go on. I usually get about 10 minutes behind in the comments, but it's because I like to answer everyone's comments. You guys take the time out of your Wednesday night. It is Wednesday, right? Out of your Wednesday night to hang out with me. So I want to take my time and give you guys all the info possible. So for the American viewers, what is up? Hopefully you guys had a great 4th of July, America's birthday yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed it, had fun with family, friends, however you celebrate. But let's go ahead and get into some questions. So Omar says, will there be a high performance version of the Grand Highlander just like the regular Highlander? So he's talking probably about like the XSE version. It looks sporty. It's the same engine. Basically, the Grand Highlander has a way better powertrain than the normal Highlander. But it would be cool to see a sportier version for sure. Maybe like some black accents on the inside with red accents and stuff, or black accents on the outside with like a red interior. Something like that would be pretty cool on an XLE. Keelan, gotcha. So what's up? Thanks for coming in. John said, let's see those new Tundra tires. Love the channel, man. Got a 22 Platinum in silver, and I am loving it. The Tundra tires, they are right over there. So they will hopefully be going on Friday. So we were waiting for the lift kit to come into Yoda Mafia. We were trying to go with a Bilstein kit because Yoda Mafia has like a pretty good RTR kit is what they call it. And it's like a very affordable kit, but you can build up on it if possible, but the suspension is taking way longer to get into their shop, unfortunately. So it looks like as of right now, we're going with a Dobinson's kit on it, and I'm pretty happy about it. So should be good. Dobinson's suspension with SPC upper control arms is the last that I was informed that would be coming into the shop. Yoda Mafia is going to hook it up as always with a super clean install by Ryan. And hopefully that goes on this Friday for the Tundra. I am overly happy to start the Tundra build finally, as other stuff on the channel is kind of not dying down, but other builds are getting wrapped up, like the Tacoma and stuff that will be getting wrapped up. I only have a few more parts to put on to the Tacoma. It's way too hot to go camping with it. And the truck was going to be like a 6-month truck or so for the Tacoma. So that one will be getting wrapped up soon as well. Bob, I'm looking forward to the next chapter. Heck yeah, man. So this live stream, like with this quality of camera, I mean, it's basically my iPhone paired to the thing, right, with the continuity, but it just looks better, at least from what I see it. I'm not sure how it portrays on your guys' end. Videos I'll try to be putting out like a video or a short a day, but the quality is going to be stepped up more with more Not cutscenes here and there because you guys like kind of just the raw organic stuff, but definitely like more B-roll and trying to keep the viewer engaged a bit more. Basically, when the channel started out, and I'm still this way, I just like to give you guys the raw info and everything and just the raw content, but it doesn't keep viewers engaged as long. And so hopefully I can give you guys more information and just more entertaining videos and even higher quality. But yeah, I'm excited for the next chapter. David, what's up? How's it going? Matt says, does your Paragon bed cover leak at all on the Tundra? So it is not waterproof, but it is very, very water resistant, especially when driving. So when you're driving and all that water is going back past the bed, virtually no water has gotten inside and got all of our stuff wet while we were doing our road trip. Now, when the truck has been sitting out there and we just got a ton of rain with it, I did open it up and it looks like there's just a little bit that comes down on the wheel well area. But other than that, not that much water in the back. And the way I like to think about it is that if I didn't have the Paragon bed cover, everything would have been soaked. But the fact that I have that bed cover on it now, there's only minimal water that got inside. So that video, I want to put the tires and everything into the truck to showcase that you can easily take the top of the Paragon bed cover off. And then that review video for the bed cover should be wrapped up by this weekend for that. I just like to showcase my stuff in use instead of putting it on the truck saying, hey guys, buy it. You know, I'm more for taking my time with content to really make sure that the product is going to work and that it's good. And even with the Paragon bed cover too, the seal, I got the seal for the tailgate and it's off just a little bit. It was super hard to like close as I was starting it. And I'll mention all this in the video that I actually ripped the seal. And I'm just like a typical customer, hey, Paragon, blah, blah, blah. My tailgate seal ripped. What do I do about this? And next day they sent a new one out. So very good customer service. And I heard other people have those issues too on the Facebook page for the Tundra stuff. And they said that they just sent it right out. So that was very cool. Miguel says, love it. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Peter says, what are your predictions on pricing for the new Tacomas? So Tacoma pricing, I think it's going to have to be competitive, guys. Unlike the Tundra and Sequoia that were really far behind the competition, like seeing where the F-150s were and the Silverados for like what you get for the price. Tacomas are going to have to really be competitive. If you look at a new Colorado, like the brand new generation Colorado, it is pretty dang close to the current Tacoma pricing. So I know that Toyota will have to raise the prices a little bit, right? Because it is a newer vehicle with newer items in it, newer tech, newer stuff. They have to recoup their money somehow. But it's going to be close. I don't think that there'll be a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 jump like the Sequoia and the Tundra. I think that it's going to be a very minimal jump for the Tacoma probably when that time comes out. I don't have pricing yet. That should be later in the year when we have our drive events and stuff. It usually pricing comes out about a month prior to when the vehicles start like showing up or like prior to them rolling down the assembly line. Like when we were in Hawaii and we did the Grand Highlanders, about a month later now, cars are starting to roll out to dealerships. So that is when we'll get the pricing for that. What are your predictions for the pricing? Sweet. So got that one. Travis, what's up, man? So I have a 2015 TRD Pro with, holy smokes, 250,000 miles on it. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I've put on, you put on 50K. Okay. Only have about 20,000 and invested into it altogether. Should I keep it and drive it to the ground or mod it? It's basically stock. So I would definitely, I mean, obviously if you bought the truck with that high of mileage, I hope that, a mechanic has looked it over. And I'm not sure which TRD Pro you're talking about, whether it's a Tundra, 4Runner, or whatever. I'm going to assume 4Runner. Those motors are good for 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 miles. So as long as the vehicle is mechanically sound and you're only 20K into it, I mean, that's a pretty good vehicle to start adding stuff onto. And worst case scenario, worst case scenario, if the engine implodes, you could put a new engine into it for fairly cheap, or take everything off of it, put it on another 4Runner, and because a lot of the stuff with the 2015s and on will fit 4Runners from 2015s and on. So can't be too bad with that. Birdman, what's up from Arizona? How's it going? I'm sure it's hot down there. That dry heat getting to you. Joey, what's up, man? Do you think that we'll get a GR version of the Land Cruiser? So GR here in America is very unique. It's not like overseas where it's like a GR Hilux or a GR Land Cruiser. Here, like GR, the aura around it is just Toyota really making driver-focused vehicles here in America. So I'm not sure if we'll get like a GR badged Land Cruiser unless it's very high speed. Like that's what I hope they do for trucks. If they bring a GR version of a truck or a Land Cruiser SUV, like make it desert racing focused, you know, because all the GR cars are all about the driver experience. So hopefully, you know, they make it very focused on driver experience. Me personally, I don't see them bringing the GR here over to the States with an SUV, but I could be wrong. I mean, product longevity, product longevity, you know, maybe not now, but 3-4 years from now to rehype the model, maybe they'll do that. Where is your next road trip and what Toyota will you take? So unless we get a new Toyota, the next road trip will be with the Tundra. Not 100% sure yet. There's potential drivings back to Texas and stuff happening. We have family there. My cousin in San Diego is getting married in December. It's also my wife's birthday in December, so we may drive out to that. Hopefully I don't have to drive a truck on 37s all the way to San Diego again in December. But it depends also on what we get. My wife really likes the Grand Highlander. She's never seen it though. I've driven them, and that video needs to go out. I haven't been editing that one, but I need to finish editing that. But I think a Grand Highlander would be great for a road trip vehicle. So if we replace the 4Runner and Tacoma with something that gets a lot more gas mileage and that's a little bit bigger, kind of like on the same size as the Sequoia, because we haven't effectively replaced the Sequoia yet with anything. If it's a vehicle that gets better gas mileage, like a Grand Highlander, or we even kind of talked about just getting back into a RAV4 again, just to have like a fun little, not a fun, but like a good little zip car that just, you know, oh, I need to go to the grocery store. Cool. Get in a RAV4 hybrid, go to the grocery store. Oh, I need to just run down here to go do this. Okay. Get in the RAV4 and go do that. So that has been on our minds, but obviously I will let you guys know if that happens. No GR Highlander, probably not, unless they make it like really insane, right? Jason, what's up, man? Get that switch out much? I actually just took it out last Saturday, this past Saturday, Saturday or Sunday, we took it out. My wife wanted to go out on the 4th of July, and I told her that I just don't want to go out on the 4th of July with the boat. It's going to be crazy. Where we store the boat, it's at like a marina, so because my garage isn't tall enough, unfortunately, to keep the boat here. And our HOA, I can't keep the boat in the driveway or like tucked up on the side of the house. So we keep it at a marina, which is nice because they just lift the boat and put it in the water for you. You can gas it up there. You take it off. When you come back, they bring my little cradle. They lift the boat right back up. I wash it down. I plug the hose into it, run it all out, clean all the salt water off, and then they just put it back in storage, which is awesome. And it's covered storage too. So, but I've taken it out. We've taken it out 2 or 3 times now. This last time that we just took it out, we were kind of pushing the limits on the weight. So it was our switch is 13 feet. So it's 700-pound limit is the weight. We had 4 adults, which already kind of put us close to the 700 pounds, if not a little bit over it. And then coolers as well. So definitely would not recommend the 13-footer if you have a lot of friends. But it was good. It handled, like once we figured out where people would sit for it to plane properly, it handled well, but it is very short in our bay. So like when you go over waves, it's fun, but because there's more people and weight on it, we were getting splashed up a bit. But the switch is fun. I should do an update video for you guys, but with it being at a marina, it's hard to like do an update walk around video of the boat there. But I should just do that. No worries, Peter. It is fun though. I do like it. But again, me not being able to like hold on to things, right? Which I can. I mean, I've held the 4Runner forever. Um, I've kind of contemplated because there's a individual in our area that would like to buy the Switch from me because he can't find one. So I could make a little bit of money on the Switch. And then maybe just buy a jet ski for my wife and I, like a couple's jet skis, because those could then fit here in the garage. So if you are just joining in, how's it going? I am drinking a cactus cooler. So West Coast people, where are you at? This has been in my fridge for a while. If you guys don't know, I live in Florida. I don't treat myself to sodas often, but it's a cactus cooler. If you guys are new to the live streams, basically just send in whatever questions you want. I usually get about 10 minutes back behind on questions. I'm only 3 minutes behind right now, so it's okay. I also got a new camera set up too, so let me know how it looks. If you guys like it, leave a thumbs up. That's sweet. And we just do Toyota questions and stuff here, life questions, real estate stuff, business stuff, politics stuff, whatever. I just give my opinion. We talk about things, and it's all good. Omar says, will Toyota be bringing a Hellcat Durango to compete like a GR Highlander or Grand Highlander? No way in heck. Dodge is almost done with that stuff, by the way. Like, they're doing their last hurrahs and everything. I feel like Dodge and Chevy will be crazy still in the future, and Ford with like their Raptor stuff, right? Like they'll still go as hard as they can until the government, unfortunately, ultimately ends a lot of that stuff, unless some of that stuff keeps getting pushed out, right? But there will be no Hellcat freaking that vehicle is so obnoxious in the first place. I don't see any competition from Toyota. That I don't see that. Garrett, what's up, man? He says, just started following you. Love the videos. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the follow. I've been itching to get a Toyota. I work at Ford Motor Company and can't stand their vehicles. Prices are too pricey and quality is going down fast. So honestly, dude, depends on who you talk to. Toyota's no better. But I appreciate you watching the videos and stuff now, man. But it sucks because COVID was such a BS excuse for stuff to not get done properly and stuff to be half-assed and still like sold to the general public. And it's like, oh, well, sorry, supply issues. It is what it is, right? And it's like companies never bounced back from that, nor like do they want to. I feel like sometimes they're not given the best of quality with the best materials of parts because now it's cheaper. And now that stuff is still readily available, or at least better than what it was a couple of years ago. They're like, hey, our profit margins are through the roof now. So this is awesome. People have gotten used to it, right? But Ford, I still hear good things. I hear bad things about Ford. I still hear bad things about Chevy, but good things sometimes too. It ultimately all depends on who you talk to. And just if you join any of the Facebook groups, like the Tundra owners page or the Sequoia owners page, or whatever vehicle you're looking for, like a 4Runner group, whatever, the people that comment on there are people that have a lot of issues sometimes. So just think of it like a Yelp review, right? A lot of people that complain on Yelp or review on Yelp are those that had a bad experience, unfortunately. So that is what a lot of that is flooded with, is bad experiences. But knock on wood, I've had no major issues with either of my Tundras. The one with the windows rattling, that was very, very annoying. But aside from that, 15,000 miles on a Tundra, I had really no issues aside from the windows, right? This new one, the only thing I have going on, which I mentioned in a road trip video, was the seats not working properly with the electronics and the creaking in my seat. Aside from that, this new Tundra has been very, very solid. Ben, what is up, man? Any thoughts on the best DRL LED bulb for a 4Runner? I don't want to do the full housing swap, but I hate that I'm still running halogen low beams. So I'm not sure which year 4Runner you have. That's why I want to get like a newer 4Runner just to make new evergreen content video for you guys. But mine was easy because my DRL was also my high beam. So I just swapped in that. Now, I'm not sure with like, I think it was 2020 or 2021, they changed out for LED lights and all that stuff. So it was very unique with it. I would just go on to trail4runner.com. Maybe they have a more updated version with newer 4Runners, like what the good bulb is for that. Or just call companies like Last Fit, maybe. I'm not sure if they've done that extensive of research yet to see what would work with DRLs for those newer vehicles. But really, I would just figure out what the bulb size is and just see if there's an LED out there that is able to run at a lower, would it wattage, I guess, be the right answer, or just at a lower, yeah, we'll just go with wattage. That way it's not blinding people, because you don't want to run your DRLs and it be your high beams the whole time, you know, which it shouldn't, because you have LEDs in both in the little projectors. So you should have your high beams there. So I don't know if there's like a dimmer LED bulb out there. I would just look and see what your bulb size is, honestly, and go from there. Rod, how's it going, man? If everyone wants a new gen Tacoma and holds off on buying one until the 25 model year, there will be lots will be full and prices will be reduced. The crappy thing is that's not going to happen. People are not going to wait for the vehicle. And with how Toyota is doing things right now, they are basically building vehicles as needed. So Toyota most likely will never go back to the full volume of dealerships that it was before COVID, which is crazy, because if you look at dealerships, Toyota has built some of the most nice dealerships, and that's horrible grammar. Toyota has built the nicest dealerships like that I've seen, with nice little like coffee areas and stuff. If your vehicle is getting serviced and stuff, big like white buildings with the Toyota, like they all look the same, right? Like, you know, a modern Toyota dealership. And that's just like with all these Toyota renovations and stuff that they've done with dealerships, and they're on big pieces of land. But the crappy thing is that Toyota will most likely never go to the same volume that they did before COVID. It makes no sense to have all those vehicles. And a lot of car manufacturers are kind of doing that. They're just building as the demand is there. Sometimes they build a little more, sometimes it's a little less. And then like the next quarter, they ramp it up a little bit. So the crappy thing about that is that ain't going to happen. People are very excited for this new Tacoma. And the price will just have to be competitive as it is like with the Ranger and the Colorado and the Canyon. Jason says we usually do a show in the Boggy Bayou, and I don't like having to work the next day. Take it slow, get it back. Didn't go this year. Marina storage is nice. Yeah, so the marina storage is nice, but yeah, I didn't want to go and do any of the crazy stuff with crazy people out there. I mean, there were thousands of people at Crab Island. Even when we took it out on Saturday, we just went to like the islands and Mary Esther area. I didn't even deal with all the craziness of Crab Island, but we missed a manatee. I guess there was a manatee out there at Crab Island. That would have been really, really cool to witness. All right, so Travis bought a Tier D Pro 4Runner for about 20 grand. Everything is mechanically sound. The shocks are starting to seep in though, so I don't know if I should replace them with OEM or get a lift kit. So if the vehicle's old like that, definitely use my link in my YouTube there to go over to Yoda Mafia's page. Get yourself a Bilstein RTR kit. It'll lift the 4Runner up just a little bit. It'll be way better suspension over the OEM suspension. You won't have that nosedive anymore. And it's like Bilstein 5100s. And I think you can get a fully assembled kit from Yoda Mafia. Don't quote me, but it's around $1,000. It's like 1,000, maybe even less than that. So use my link, go over to Yoda Mafia's page. They sell the crap out of those kits for 4Runners. It's one of the most affordable kits. And it's a very good bang for your buck kit for the 5th gen 4Runner. And they build them, or they send them out fully assembled too, which is nice. Ben says oh, wait, whoa, where did I go? Yeah, I answered Ben's question. Well, to the best of my knowledge. Oh, that's why I'm way behind. My bad, guys. So if you're hopping in, it's exactly like what I said. I get behind, and we're about 6 minutes behind on questions. But I like to answer all your guys' questions because you guys take your time out of your day, your night on a Wednesday. So I want to give you guys all the info possible and all the time you guys deserve. So Jack, what up, man? 2017 Tier D off-road or trade up to a new Tundra. Are you sorry, Jack? Are you talking about a truck itself or 4Runner to trade up to Tundra? So if that's the case, man, me personally, I enjoy trucks. I really enjoy trucks. My first vehicle ever was a 1995 4Runner. I keep looking at this. I have a new camera. My first vehicle ever was a 95 4Runner. It was great. It had the 3-point slow in it. It was an automatic, but it was super clean. But I always wanted a truck. Like I was always going back and forth between truck 4Runner, truck 4Runner. I got this then I got a Silverado. Then I sold it for a 4Runner again. And then when I had this 4Runner, I wanted a truck again. So until I had like both and like worked really freaking hard to be able to have both in my driveway at the same time, I've always been a truck person. If I had to go down to just one vehicle, it would be a truck. And in this case, because I have a Toyota YouTube channel, it'd be a Tundra. So I hope that answers your question. What up, Bell? What is the update on the 37s? So the 37s are sitting right over here. They're right there. They're freaking massive, man. They're so stupidly big. But we are waiting for a lift kit to come in to Yoda Mafia. Hopefully it got there today. We were going to be running a Bilstein kit, the same thing that I just said for that 4Runner TRD Pro, or the 4Runner TRD Pro. But unfortunately, stuff hasn't come in from Bilstein for that. So we're most likely going to be doing a Dobinson's kit for it with SPC upper control arms on the Tundra. It's going to look super clean. And hopefully that stuff came in today. It was ordered last week when we had all the stuff with the 4th of July. So hopefully that stuff came in today, and our tentative date to install all that stuff, the relations race wheels, everything onto the Tundra is Friday. So that is that. Don says, where is the 2017 off-road 4Runner? I just traded mine in for an RX 500. Nice. I got a lot in on trade. That's insane, dude. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to trade stuff, I mean, even though the market is bouncing back-ish, like I said, Toyota isn't overflowing their dealerships. So yes, the car market is bouncing back, but like Toyotas, they've held their value in the past and they're still holding their values now. So the Toyota, like as used car market starts to like come back, I feel like Toyota is still going to be valued a bit higher. And this is a perfect case. A 2017 4Runner traded for an RX 500, which is an amazing car, by the way. Congrats. Still held its value for trade. That's awesome. Connor, what up, man? If it's not too personal, what do you do for work, bro? This comes up every live stream, and I tell you guys, I'm going to do it, make a video on it, and then crap happens during the week, and it's like never a video that's like a priority, holy crap, all the sugar, priority for me to make. But I'm trying to be able to afford all the cars like you. So basically, I have VA compensation money coming in from when I was in the military. We have several Airbnb properties that cash flow. My wife is a real estate agent, so she has her own income as well. The kicker, we don't have kids, which we have dogs and stuff, and they do cost money, but we don't have kids, which I've heard from people that that's a good amount of money, especially like daycare and stuff. And I have YouTube. So multiple streams of income that come in for these vehicles and stuff. And I guess buying them smart too, right? Like being able to buy a Sequoia and then sell it 6 months later, make content on it, basically have it for free, essentially. If you missed that video, that's kind of like shows you a little bit of YouTube analytics behind the scenes, right? I showed you guys how much the Sequoia made me on YouTube and also the profit I made on the sale. So like selling that vehicle, I made about $10,000, which was crazy. So same thing with my white Tundra that I had. I'm not sure how long you've been on the channel, but I bought that white Tundra for MSRP, sold it for, I believe, MSRP at the time. It was 54, so a little under MSRP, but I had it for a year, made tons of content on the truck, right? So essentially drove the truck for free, but made money on it with YouTube and then the brand deals and stuff that happened with the truck too for products I stand behind. So little insight there, but I still do need to make a full video for you guys. You guys deserve that. And I'm open about it because I want people to do whatever they want to do. It doesn't suck working for someone, like unless like you really want to work for someone. Like if you want to make a bigger impact within that company to do things, and that's awesome. Like not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. Like technically right now, I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I dip back and forth to think about like, maybe I want to work with this company to do something bigger and better with it. So there's always those options on the table. But like as of right now, it's just solely my wife and I just grinding and doing everything to make money and stay afloat and for the future too. What selling format should I sell my 2015 Tacoma pre-runner on? Ooh, it's a one owner gem with only 35,000 miles on it. Someone here may want to scoop that up, or I mean, depending on how much of a gem that thing is, if you really want to go about bring a trailer, I mean, that is super low miles for bring a trailer. Or if you want to go into a second gen Tacoma group, people are always looking for clean vehicles there. Maybe just go into the group, make a couple posts, gauge out the audience, list it there. You just don't want a bunch of tire kickers. And like if you were to put it on Facebook Marketplace, if you have Facebook Marketplace, people won't give you the respect. There may be that one person, but people won't give you respect of what the vehicle is. People are going to say, oh, it's a 9-year-old vehicle almost. Like I'm not going to give you that money. So I haven't done stuff on Cars and Bids. I was going to sell the Sequoia on Cars and Bids and make a video of it, but like I just posted it on Facebook and like everything was done within 30 minutes. I was like, oh, that was more than what I wanted for the Sequoia basically. And it happened within 30 minutes and it was a serious buyer. So I didn't do that, but I was thinking about doing Cars and Bids too, because it looks pretty successful from what people have been selling on there. Garrett says, so what trim level should I go for? I love the TRD Pros, but is there that too much of a difference compared to other TRD trims? Could it be cheaper to get a lower trim and just do aftermarket upgrades? 100%. The only reason you would go for a TRD Pro, one, if you want the color, and two is like resale value. Other than that, you could get a TRD off-road, build it into even better than a TRD Pro for way less money. The interiors of the TRD Pros are nice. I do like the interiors of them, but it's like there's no crazy benefit to spending all that money on a TRD Pro when you could get the same exact electronics and off-road bits and put better suspension on it, better tires, better not better wheels, because those BBS wheels are really nice, but you could put a lot better of goodies underneath a TRD off-road than a TRD Pro and still be $5,000 to $6,000 cheaper. So the interiors of the Pros are nice. They're sick. They hold their values, because then when you go to like resell that TRD off-road versus if you did the same with a TRD Pro or just kept the TRD Pro the same, the TRD Pro will most likely fetch a prettier dollar than a normal TRD off-road. But like if you plan on keeping it for years and that doesn't really matter, then I'd 100% recommend always, even though I have TRD Pros, I'd always recommend always going with the TRD off-road if your intent is to build it up. And it just depends on your resale value too, like if you're concerned about that. When do you think the 6th gen 4Runner is coming out? Guys, I hope it's next year. So we got Land Cruiser stuff this year, right? We got Tacoma launching at the end of the year. Like the Tacoma's been announced, but we have all that content for it. And then the same stuff with the Land Cruiser, same stuff with the GX, right? Even though the GX is Lexus. Next year should be 4Runner's year to shine. So we're going for next year. That is what I'm thinking in my head. That's what all the rumors are saying. So should be next year for the 4Runner, guys. All right, so we're about 12 minutes behind now, so we will start to catch up with everyone. Everyone, what is up? Welcome into the live stream. We got 70 people in here. If you guys could smash the like button, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. Megan helping us out says TRD ORP low beams and high beams are LED. Halogen bulbs were high beams, but they are used for the function as DRL. Yeah, exactly. So she just says that she has hers off when she uses the headlights. Maybe not the best thing, eventually going to Alpharex. So again, that's a full housing that they don't want to do. But if someone has done LEDs for the DRLs and they actually like dim down and they don't shine in people's faces, if you guys could let us know in the comments, that'd be awesome. Have you seen any rust development on your washers and bolts on your Westcott products? I have not actually. And the ladder on the back of the 4Runner, I don't know if it was me or my wife, but we lifted it up too much and it nicked like a bolt on the back of our hurricane style garage doors. So like the garage doors have bigger things on them for hurricanes and stuff. And it scratched it, and the paint came off, or the powder coat, I should say, came off, but there's no rust. Granted, I keep my 4Runner in the garage and we drive it and stuff, but still, Florida humidity, it's hot in this garage right now, and there's still no rust on it. So I have not seen any rust develop for any of the products on the 4Runner. Now, I do have the tire swing on the Tacoma that has literally been sitting outside for months. I mean, I drive in stuff. I've purposely left the tire swing and everything on that Tacoma just to see if the weather does anything to those products. So I'll have to take a good look at when I do my full review video for the Westcott tire swing. But I have not seen any rust yet to my knowledge. Joey, what up, man? Since you've been in the presence of the Toyota community, do you see the East Coast throwing a Toyota Fest show meet like the West Coast does it? Originally from SoCal, but moved out here to Florida. Dude, same. That's crazy. I have not. I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, I know that we have some like Toyota events that go on here. Like Yoda Mafia is doing the Atlanta takeover this month, I think, like on the 20th. So like that's going to be up in Atlanta. Depending on where you live in Florida, it may be a little too far away. But I haven't heard anything like that out in SoCal. Sorry, guys, it's warm in this garage. Everybody make sure to be liking the live stream. Appreciate it, man. And thank you always for commenting on all the videos. You're the best. Can't wait. Heck yeah. Nick says, I'm looking forward to your Tundra Paragon cover review. Any sneak peek on how it's been so far, considering getting one soon? So I have a 15% off. I think it's 15% off. I have a coupon when the Paragon video comes out for you guys, and it's a pretty decent coupon. But it's been great. I love it. I had some issues at first with it, and I must not have read the directions all the way, or maybe they just weren't in the directions. But once you close it, they just want you to leave it closed for 24 to 48 hours. I was stupid. I didn't know that. I put it on basically the day before we left on our road trip. So I was cycling it a bunch of times and it was really rough. But now that the truck has been sitting outside in the heat, all the plastic has been, or all the rubber has been able to morph around it and do its thing. I love it. It's so good. My last Tundra, I had the deck system in it. It was nice to check the deck system out. I prefer the deck system in the Tacoma because it's an overland build, right? So it works better for the Tacoma. But the Paragon bed cover, it's great. It's awesome. I have no complaints really with it at all. And the complaints that I have, it's like the trade-off that you have for it being a bed cover, right? Like because it folds into itself. So if you have a box at the very front of your cabin of the truck, or if like boxes slide forward, if you go to close it, or I'm sorry, open it, it may hit those boxes. So if you have big boxes, keep them towards the tailgate of your truck, smaller boxes towards the front, super easy to take it off and stuff. So I'll have all that stuff I'm going to talk about on the Paragon review. But yeah, I really like it so far. Henry, what up, man? Is Toyota intentionally holding back production of their SUVs in order to comply, or in order to control supply and demand to charge higher prices? I think a lot of companies are. Toyota is definitely seeming like they're one of them that's doing that. When we talk about, not on purpose, but just to keep good value of their vehicles and to not have a bunch of vehicles sitting out there, not to dilute the market. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. If you just joined the stream, that's awesome. Appreciate it. But we were talking at a recent Toyota events, and Toyota has no desire to go back to lots that have hundreds of cars on it every quarter, right? Like a leftover of every quarter having hundreds of cars on the lot. Toyota seems to enjoy that. They had like, here was the demand this month. Cool. Is it the same trend? Okay, we'll build more cars or we'll build less cars. So that's kind of the route that Toyota is going. When I was in Texas, man, the Dodge dealerships, the Ford dealerships, the Chevy dealerships, all of them, crap ton of cars. Toyota dealerships had some cars, but not definitely as much as the domestics. So it's going to be very interesting to see the shift in potential sales. You know, people like their bargains, like if that will help Toyota, or if people are going to go to other brands too. But we shall see. FEMA camp, how much? What do you mean? I'm not sure, Connor, unless you guys are talking about other things. Henry says, what do you think about Toyota moving up market with $70,000 plus SUVs? Is Toyota moving away from the average consumer? So I think everything is just inflating in price, honestly, and it's not me being a fanboy, like defending Toyota at all. Everything is going up in price. If you look at a comparable Chevy Tahoe, honestly, they're the exact same price, it seems like, if not more, depending on the options that you put into it. When I did the Sequoia TRD Pro versus the Chevy Tahoe Z71, I believe it was that one, I think the Z71 was a bit more in price, or it may have been a little bit less, but it had less options than the Sequoia comes standard with. So I wish that Toyota didn't have a lot of stuff that comes standard with their vehicles to raise those prices up. But if you just look at a normal SR5 SUV from Toyota, Sequoia rather, it is fairly expensive. It is fairly expensive, but that's not Toyota's bread and butter are those SUVs. Like they only have one, right? So if you start to look at Toyota's like whole lineup instead of just the Sequoia, I think it makes more sense because Toyota does this whole like you're with the company forever, or you're with the brand forever, and your family's like evolving up that way. And as your family evolves, hopefully your paycheck, I would hope, evolves too as your family grows and everything and you're working longer and stuff. So that's how I see Toyota as a company. Like maybe it's you and your wife, you guys start out, you have a RAV4, right? Then your family grows a little bit and then you go into the Highlander, right? And then maybe the Grand Highlander or whatever. Like it's this scale that evolves, I feel like, with Toyota. But 70 plus K plus SUVs, I mean, those are all the premium ones. I think the Sequoia starts around mid 50s for an SR5, I think. So, I mean, it just all depends on what you want, honestly, with the vehicle. I hope that explained it a little bit better. FEMA camp's in here. Got it. Sorry. Okay. Thanks for doing the live stream, John. We all appreciate it. Of course, man. Appreciate you. Hobbies for hire. GX looking pretty nice unless the Land Cruiser / 4Runner is really upgraded. So this is very true. I mean, that GX is so freaking awesome. The GX looks really, really good. We've seen some like potential teaser / leaks on the internet of the new Land Cruiser, right? That may kind of look like the GX a little bit but with some Toyota flair. So I don't know. And then no information yet on 4Runner at all, like legit information on 4Runner, but very excited for those three SUVs. And the thing that I'm most excited about is just how they're all going to work cohesively together. Cause I mean, obviously Lexus is the premium brand, but like how is the Land Cruiser and the 4Runner going to just both be the same kind of sized off-roaders in Toyota's lineup? Like, and then you have the Sequoia on top of that, like if you want to get bigger. And then those that do the crossover stuff, like people are overlanding and off-roading RAV4, like TRD off-road. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays out with Toyota. But again, if Toyota is a brand to do multiple vehicles of the same, I feel like they could do it, you know, because like why is the Venza a thing when you have the RAV4? So yeah, I don't know. If someone's going to do it, I feel like it would be Toyota. Regarding my 2015 Tacoma Pre-Runner, double cab, one owner, 35,000 miles. CarMax offered me $25K this week. That's so insane. But I believe it will most likely bring more via private sale. Yeah, I mean, depends on also where you live. But that particular truck with being very, very clean, the desirable 4.0 liter, in that, and it is a pre-runner, which some people may want 4-wheel drive, right, instead of 2-wheel drive. But I mean, some dude in California, if he's looking for a clean truck, they're going to pay potential California prices of like 30 to 32 or whatever for that. So, and thanks for the Toyota. Yep, exactly. Perfect, dude. Good luck on the sale. Let us know next live stream if you got anything good for it. That'd be awesome. Lord, what is up? How's it going? Says, hey John, I'm still looking for work, but in the meantime, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Oh my gosh, I'm drinking a soda. I feel so bad. And it is causing some complications. It is really hard to not start getting really depressed. Yeah, man. I mean, the mental is like the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing for sure. I mean, I'm going down a slope as well right now. Just like we got done with our 75 hard challenge. We're on a mental high. And it was just so great to like just be going and going and going. And then we got off of that. We stayed like kind of doing the same things for a little bit. And then we just slipped off again. And now procrastination is a thing that's hard with me. I'm not sure if I have ADD or ADHD. I haven't been technically diagnosed for that yet, but I'll like start a project and I'll go somewhere else and do something. And then like next thing I know, 2 hours later, I come back. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't finish that. So it's definitely a lot of stuff is mental, but if your mind, I like to think of it this way. If your mind is able to think of the bad stuff, your mind is able to think of the good stuff. You just have to really try to get your mind to think about the good stuff, man, and just force it to. And if you can, I mean, I'm not sure how crazy type 2 diabetes is. I've never experienced it myself, but I do have friends that do have certain diabetes. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. And they're out there trying to live life, trying to eat a different diet, force it onto themselves, eat different diets, don't cave into like, oh, I need this kind of a thing. Just eventually, if you're able to do stuff for 5 to 6 weeks, like it sucks, it's a long time, but your mind will be in a new mental state. So you got it, Lord. Like, keep it up, man. You got it. A great SUV and proved excellent cross country and mud runner. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Would like super SUV. Not sure what that is. If you guys are new in here, we're getting close to getting to all the questions answered. So if you guys have any questions at all about Toyota stuff, real estate stuff, business stuff, whatever you guys want, let me know down in the comments. And we've been on for almost an hour or so. But I can be on here for an hour, hour and a half, however long you guys enjoy the live stream for. So whatever questions you guys have, just let me know in the comment section. I appreciate taking time with you guys. John says, welcome back. Thanks, man. Good to be back. So we basically, long story short, as to where John went. So where the heck did John go? The content was on a high. Where did you go? So we'll answer that as some new questions start to come in, because we're all pretty much caught up with the questions. I see Jim's and Lazardo and David and stuff. I see your guys' questions, and Jonathan, and I'll get to them. So where the heck did I go? So long story short, we were turning a house that we had rented as a long-term rental into an Airbnb. And everything was going great on it until about the end with the contractors and stuff, like just some finishing stuff. It was really like the paint issues and stuff like that. But long story short, my wife and I had to finish the house ourselves. So that took about 2-ish weeks to just finish the house ourselves, clean up stuff, go over mistakes and everything, finish up some plumbing and tile work and all this stuff. So that took about 2 weeks getting it ready. And then once the house was done, I was like, I'm just done, not done with Florida, but like, I'm just over just being here. So let's just go to Texas. So then we went to her parents' farm on Texas, recouped a little bit. It was very nice. And then drove back here, showed you guys that road trip video. And then I basically flew directly to New York to do the 3 GR cars. I know the GR cars don't do the best on the channel at all, right? Because we're more off-road and truck focused and stuff like that. But had recorded those 3 GR cars. And then unfortunately, back in California, a family friend, super, super close. So we called him Uncle, right? Like just very close family friend, passed away. So then I flew directly from New York to San Diego for his funeral, hung out with family for like a day and a half, then flew back to Florida. And then when I landed in Florida, my aunt and uncle were in town from New Mexico. So hung out with them for 4 days while they were in town, 4 to 5 days. My uncle was here on business work. And then my aunt, we just got to hang out at the beach and stuff and just decompress some more from some things. And then that leads us up to today. So, and then after she left, came into the garage that was just a bombshell of just doing the whole renovation and stuff and just throwing everything all over the place. So cleaned up the garage, cleaned up the house, a lot of stuff that was neglected while we were working on the other house and just being with family and friends and stuff. So a lot of stuff going on these last couple of weeks. So that's why like I've been on vacation, but not really like vacation. Just like I in order for me to get some stuff done, just like I was talking with Lord about all the mental stuff, just in order for me to get stuff done, I couldn't like do some half-assed videos and then do some stuff here and do some stuff there. Like I just had to focus on the stuff, get it done, come back swinging to give you guys all the content. So we do have a lot of stuff coming, man. Some things from last fit over here for the Tacoma. We got rock lights for it. The Shift Power USA, which I've been testing on the Tacoma, and that will be video should be this weekend. I have the car. I always forget how to Charnova tie down rings for the Tundra, the Paragon bed cover, the AFE intakes. I'm finishing up that video, talking to you guys like all the turbo whistles and more power and stuff. It's hard right now because it's so hot outside. And I took off the rubber things for the intakes as well to like make even more sound too. They sound awesome. That stuff for the Tundra, the lift kit and everything coming for it. So a lot of stuff is going to start coming, and then just final review videos with the Tacoma. And I want to get more Tacoma content coming because it's either going to get sold or we're going to give it away. So if I'm going to give away the Tacoma, I want to get the content going so people are hyped about it, so it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, and if I would, be better off selling it, then we'll sell the Tacoma and then 4Runner potentially shortly after. So that is where John has been. That is a quick update. If you guys have any more questions, throw them into the comments. And let's get back into it. So, hi, John. Glad you kept your 4Runner. As I just said that we're going to potentially sell it. Do you believe the new 4Runner will be like the new GX 550, but look more aggressive / off-road? Thank you, and go Air Force. Heck yeah, man. I think that the Land Cruiser is going to be more like the GX 550, and I feel like the 4Runner is really going to resemble the Tacoma, and I'm okay with that because the Tacoma looks so good, exterior, interior, everything about the Tacoma looks so good, and I really hope that the 4Runner is not like the Sequoia in a sense to where it's a carbon copy interior of the Tacoma, but like if it is, I'm kind of okay with it just because it's so good of an interior versus the Tundra and Sequoia's interior. That's like, it's fine. It's like, I'm not complaining about it, but like the Tacoma interior is just so good. It's so good. Like everything is so planned out so well in there, especially like with all the Molly panels too, the super solid door handles, the shelf on the glove box, like everything about the Tacoma is just very well thought out on the interior. So I hope that the 4Runner has more cues of Tacoma versus cues of GX and Land Cruiser to like really separate it. And I think that you may be onto something with it being more aggressive and off-road focused. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting when the Land Cruiser comes out too, to really see. Jim says, have you heard anything on the Tundra bed cover recall? I have heard that they're just freaking flying off, which is crazy. But I haven't heard any new updates. Basically, the last I've read on the Facebook page is that people have been taking their trucks to the dealerships. The dealerships have been taking them off and basically reimbursing them. So like if they bought the truck, obviously with it on it, then Toyota has been reimbursing some people because I don't think that Toyota has a fix for it yet, which is kind of crazy. Hey, John, I'm in North Jersey. I want to trade my 22 Tacoma for a 23 with a manual transmission. But I can't find one in a 200-mile radius. Please advise. Bump up that radius. Honestly, like you may not find one in that area. It's super rare to have a manual Tacoma. So you may need to go nationwide with the search. And anytime, honestly, that I search for vehicles online, used or new, I always just do nationwide because there could be a truck that's 230 miles out of your range. Why would you not go the extra 30 miles? So I would just bump that range out all the way to nationwide. And then I've used Auto Tempest in the past, which searches like Facebook Marketplace, Auto Trader. It searches a bunch of different auto sites at one time. It's like super good. Sometimes it's a little iffy, but it's like really, really good to where it searches a lot of those search engines as well. It is a search engine that brings listings from all those other listing agencies. David says, I'm a real estate broker. Are you an agent in Florida? My wife is an agent in Florida. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Not sure yet. Either in Florida, Texas, hopefully Florida, maybe Texas. I don't know. But I see myself very well off. I really, really hope. Hopefully in 5 years. So that would put me at 36. So 5 years, it would be nice to have 10 to 15 doors in our portfolio. So it'd be nice to like have 10 properties. 15, like that would be killing it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, you need to add ceiling fans into the garage, long blades for sure. I was thinking about that. I have these New Air fans, and these New Air fans are like really good. But I touched them the other day because it's been like, I don't know, 90, 95. There's been a crazy heat wave. Everyone in the South, everyone in the East Coast, like you guys, I mean, I know it's summertime, but it's been abnormally hot compared to the last few summers, in my opinion, at least. But um, I touched the back of the box fan and it was freaking hot. Like I was surprised the thing wasn't on fire yet. So I just turned them off for now. I should have turned them back on before this, but I'm not sure if you guys can hear that wind noise and stuff. I know this microphone is decently good, but I would just rather sit in the heat, burn off this soda. I mean, it's only 150 calories. That's not horrible. That's a lot of sugar. But like, I'd rather burn off the soda, just sweat it out, right, and hang out with you guys. But this better camera is definitely showing the sweat a little bit more than normal. But I would like to have one day the goal. So to answer David's question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Wherever it is, hopefully there's some land involved, and I have like a nice shop with like an office in it that's air conditioned and heated and stuff. And I can have multiple project cars just sitting in the garage to showcase videos for you guys. Or even if the YouTube's not a thing anymore, because for some reason people lose interest, or just car YouTube stuff isn't cool anymore. I don't know. But it would be a goal to just have all my stuff in one place, like quads, side-by-sides, boats, toys, all the adult toys, right? Like they say you grow up, right? But you never really grow up because you just have money for toys now. So your toys change basically. John, did I miss the drive-in review by everyone for the new Tacoma? It seemed to me it was just an overall look, but no one has test drove it yet. Is that coming? That is coming later this year. So no one has driven the Tacoma yet. And if they have, they are not able to give us any opinions yet for it. So driving embargoes and driving impressions will most likely, if I had to pick a month, I would say October, November or so, because the vehicle most likely will come out around December timeframe, just like the Tundra. Basically, all I'm doing to speculate that is how the third gen Tundra was when it came out. So all of that stuff we had leading up until December, basically, for the Tundra. Thanks. Love your videos. Appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much for watching, man. David says, what do you do full-time? Just a real estate investor or something else? Technically, I do YouTube full-time right now. That is where a majority of my time is. And then with my wife being the agent, that helps out too. She just had a closing the other day, and she's constantly working with people as well. And then multiple Airbnbs. One is technically like a little MTR right now. And then we also have a long-term rental. What are your hobbies besides Toyotas? Very good question. Nothing. I don't know. I need to get back into hobbies. Some people like playing video games. I bought an Xbox the other month. It was like 3 months ago now, and it is still in the box because I enjoyed playing games back in the day. I like playing race car games like Forza and all that and stuff. And I wanted to get back into it. I like golf games too. So that's a hobby. I enjoy playing golf, disc golf and stuff. I just like going outside and doing things and not being like tied to my phone all the time, because to do this YouTube stuff and everything, like you're pretty much on your phone a lot, and you're on your computer a lot. So I like to go outside. We don't really have mountain bike trails here, but I like to ride my bike. We go on walks with dogs and stuff. I do play golf sometimes, not the best at it. Disc golf, I enjoy that. Have a boat, like to do that stuff, go to the beach, paddleboard. So a lot of outdoor activities I enjoy to do. So no real hobbies though, which sounds kind of lame. And I should definitely get back into something. But like I said, I have an Xbox, haven't set it up. It's not really like a productive hobby, I guess. But it can be, right? Like you can monetize that stuff, just become a streamer on the side too, if you really want. And then Mormon crickets. Never even heard of that. Harmless to people. That's where I live. They're ugly, harmless to people, but they make the road slick. And ooh, that's gross. We kind of have something here. We call them mole crickets. Not sure if it's the same thing, but they live under your grass. And basically they start to eat up the lawns as well. And they make it like really soft too. I'm not sure if that's kind of the same thing. But yeah, I haven't seen one in person. I don't want to, because if they look ugly, ooh. But yeah, we call them mole crickets here in Florida. And yeah, they just eat grass and stuff. And you have to put stuff on the grass to like kill them from underneath. David says, really love your stuff and so happy to see you grow many more followers. I'll let my friends and their dogs know to subscribe too. Heck yeah. Canvas backliner coming for the Tundra review. And I'm sure the dogs will like that, which is very cool. Brennan, what is up, fellow panhandler? How's it going? What is up? David says also, how did you convince your wife to let you do YouTube full time? I know income is pretty limited. That is exactly how. The income started to essentially like so I was prior military, and during COVID, they basically, I was on the flight line, and how they separated people was half the shop came in, the other half of the shop was off for 2 weeks. If you know anything about the military, that's kind of like the stupidest idea ever, because like then the other like half of the shop for 2 weeks, they're going out, they're doing whatever, right? And then at least that half is together, and then they come back and switch off. So it doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Anyways, what I'm getting at is, so for the 2 weeks that I was off, I really focused on YouTube, other side hustles like our real estate and everything too. And the paychecks from YouTube and the real estate stuff, like as we started to focus on it and saw the potential projections, it started to be more than what Uncle Sam was paying. And I was like, why am I driving 40 minutes to work? And I worked on the flight line. Why am I driving 40 minutes to work, potentially working anywhere from 8 hours to 12 hours a day, driving another 40 minutes back home when I could work from home and make the same money? So and if not, the potential for more money, because your paycheck with the military is limited. Obviously you can climb the ranks, right? But like, there's no like, hey, you did a good job, here's a bonus. You can't do that with the military. So that's basically how it started. And then the YouTube really started to take off. And then I quit like a 9-to-5 job that I had in transition out of the military. And then, yeah, just been doing YouTube full time for over a year now, because it started back in April of last year. So it's actually been over a year that I've been doing YouTube full time, and no cars have been repoed and no houses have been foreclosed on. So we're doing pretty good, which is awesome. And she helps out like crazy too. And you should definitely do a real estate investment channel. Graham Stephan, if you watch any of his stuff, I mean, he's grown very big on YouTube, which is very crazy, because when I lived in my apartment here, I started watching his videos and he only had a few thousand subscribers. And now he has stuff where he's interviewing people like Mr. Beast and just big YouTubers. And he's a very influential person in the finance space of YouTube. But dude, just literally go on YouTube, type in real estate, and just start watching people's channels. Just start watching people's channels. And that's what I do with my car stuff. And that's why newer videos that I'm going to start to do for you guys, they may take a little longer, but like, they're going to be better, just because I've been just sucking up people's content these last few weeks and just seeing what people are watching, seeing what people are liking, and not to like change the channel totally, like still keep it my style, but you can learn from other creators, especially creators that are doing very good. If people are getting hundreds of thousands of views, there's reasons why. So position yourself around those channels, see what they're doing. Short form content is a big thing too. You're about to start a video or a channel, you could definitely do short form content. I would say it's much easier because it's like a shorter video, but there's still times where, you know, people spend 30 minutes to an hour editing a 15-second clip. So, but just do it. That's the advice, man. Just, if you feel like you should do it, because that it could be passive income that starts at like $20 a month, right? Cool. That's a free meal, right? To $100 a month, you're like, oh, we're cooking with something. $500 a month, and then next thing you know, you have a $10,000 a month, and you're like, well, this is some nice side income. So you do that with your brokerage stuff, and then it, like, if you're a real estate broker, I mean, did you say real estate broker or lender. I think you said real estate broker. I mean, you have tons of houses at your disposal then. I mean, whatever your people list or stuff, I mean, you could do video walkthroughs of there, or just even behind the scenes, or whatever's new to the market too, like houses or your area. Like, hey, what's the median selling price this month, and just go over your area. And a big thing too is, like, when we were thinking about moving down to Tampa, there was an agent that I just found just by like looking at houses in Tampa, and he basically goes, hey, these are the growing neighborhoods in Tampa, these are the new development communities in Tampa. Like, all the information that you have as a broker is just content. It's just so much content. So hopefully that helped out. Glenn, do you think that the Lexus TX would be a better value than the Grand Highlander for 2024, dollar for dollar? I would pick the Grand Highlander over the TX personally. Lexus has that. So Lexus is Toyota, which is nice. So it will hold its value more than other luxury brands, but it is a luxury brand at the end of the day, where the first owner usually takes the luxury tax hit, if that makes sense, to where the car will be worth a little bit less. Whereas I feel the Grand Highlander may be worth around the same, like if you were to sell it a year later for some reason, right? I feel like the Grand Highlander will hold its value a little bit better than the TX. Now, obviously, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like dollar for dollar, the Grand Highlander will be a better value. We don't have TX pricing yet, but the Grand Highlander pricing is insanely affordable compared to other vehicles on the market, and even compared to the normal Highlander. Whereas I think it like tops out at like 60 grand, where the TX, if we had to guess based on a fully equipped RX, I feel like a TX may touch that 75 to like $80,000 price tag. It may be close to $80,000. Have you ever tried Kith and Kin coffee at the beginning of 30A, best in town? No, may have to go do that tomorrow. That'd be cool. At the beginning of 30A, so like 98 and then 38, 98, 98 and then 30A, like as it starts going eastbound or as it starts going westbound from like Inlet Beach. Let me know, Brennan. I mean, I could look it up too, but whatever. Just let me know. They look like big, fat, brown grasshoppers. They're flightless, swarm in years. Yeah, gross. They've been a slip hazard on roads. Oh, so they come on the roads too? Birds and chickens and seagulls. Love them, though. That's hilarious. John, as a 3-time owner of Tundras, I was super excited to get the new one, but with so many people having issues, I decided not to. The new model, but would you recommend at this point? So this goes back to kind of the question earlier, or the statement earlier. There's a gentleman that works at Ford, but doesn't want a Ford just because of issues that they have. So at the end of the day, all vehicles are going to have potentially issues, right? It's if you got that lemon, or if someone else got the lemon and they're blowing up the Facebook page because they're upset about it, because it's a very expensive vehicle and they're just upset about it. But of the Tundras that I've had, I mean, I haven't had a second-gen Tundra. I've had a first-gen Tundra, and it had some issues, right? But it was 15 years old. The second-gen Tundra that I had for a week, it was nice, but it was kind of like plasticky on the inside. I had a TRD Pro as a press vehicle for a week, and it was solid on the inside, but it was very like just plasticky. Now, if you have a second-gen Tundra, I guess you know what it's like. But like really going from that to a third-gen Tundra, I don't feel a lack in quality. I mean, I guess there's some areas, like if you look deep in that truck, like under the seats, like the carpet's a little bit like thin. And when I put the canvas back liners on my seats and it's supposed to Velcro on it, and I took it off the seats, like the seats frayed a little bit. So, I mean, there are some material things that I wish were better materials, but like the Tundra, in my opinion, it's not me being a Toyota fanboy. The Tundra, in my opinion, is not bad enough to like not recommend. Like I've gotten stopped so many times with my new truck, which is so weird because like it's literally only a platinum, right? It's not like it's a TRD Pro or anything. But I've gotten stopped maybe 4 or 5 times with my truck, like whether it be at a stoplight, gas station, parking lot, like at Walmart. An older gentleman came up to me, even at Best Buy. A guy, I parked like this, and a guy came up to me with his car. I'm like, what the heck? No. But a guy came up to me with his car and parked real quick. He's like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, do you like this truck? I was like, yeah, I like this truck. It's my second one, and it's better than the first one I got, and I like it. So, I mean, I've personally recommended it, and it's not just because of my YouTube channel. Like those were real life experiences for the truck. So, I mean, if you're a 3-time Tundra owner, then might as well be a 4th, right, with the new truck. And if you don't like it, make sure you get it at a good price, because you can still, if you get it at a good price, you could most likely trade or sell it for around that same price, and then be a 5th-time Tundra owner for like an older one again. But I would personally still recommend the Tundra. There are some questionable things with it where it makes me scratch my head, but I feel like the 2024s, they may have some slight changes and updates. Nothing drastic, but maybe wait till 2024 to really make your decision. Jay Down, what's up? What are your thoughts on the new 4Runner possibly being built in Mexico and not Japan? I think that is a heavy rumor now. I don't think it's going to come to fruition unless the Land Cruiser coming back to the United States is going to like replace that smaller vehicle. But I feel like the 4Runner, I feel like it may just still be made in Japan. That's going to be my hot take on it. When are you planning on having kids? No, no plans yet. Like I was saying, it's us right now, man, and we just enjoy it. Like the dogs, they're cool. Like they're kind of our kids, and like in my mind, I'm like, I don't think I want kids right now. But we have the dogs. We've got a couple cats too. So I mean, like they're just there. They're cool. We had a 3rd cat. It died, which sucks. And we only had him for like a little bit. But nothing. We're enjoying freedom, like as much freedom as we have right now. Yeah, if you're coming from Destin, like 2 miles going east on 38. All right, I'm gonna look it up because dude, we're getting like some actually good coffee places finally. Like coming from San Diego, I actually never drank coffee when I was there. I only really started drinking coffee when I joined the military. But like living in Arizona, there were a ton of coffee places. Like even though I really only went to Dutch Bros because it was like super easy and like just good coffee. They still had a bunch of like little barista, like mom and pop coffee shops. And we're finally starting to get a lot of those in this area, because when I first moved here like 6-7 years ago, it was really only Starbucks and like the Badass Coffee on Scenic 98. And then just some random ones like here and there. There weren't that many, but now there's like a lot of these little coffee places popping up and stuff. And it's kind of fun to go and see like who has better coffee, which I enjoy doing. Fred says, if you ever get another 3rd-gen Sequoia, would you go Platinum or TRD Pro? So it depends on the color for the TRD Pro, but 100% Platinum. So, well, I shouldn't say 100% Platinum because it depends on the color. But bang for your buck, I would definitely go Platinum on the Sequoia, maybe even a limited too, just because it's I enjoy the Platinum Tundra, and if a Platinum Sequoia rides anything like the Tundra, it just rides really good. Like our TRD Pro was nice. The Fox suspension was cushy, but it rode like a truck. Like it rode rougher than my Platinum Tundra with a long bed for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a suspension on the Tundra. Obviously, my Tundra has more street tires than it does off-road tires, right? The Sequoia had those Falcon Wild Peaks, which aren't real Falcon Wild Peaks, and they just rode like crap. In my opinion, like these Nitto Recon grapplers on the 4Runner ride so much better than those Falcon Wild Peaks did on the Sequoia. But like, I only drove one Platinum Sequoia, and it was a pre-production model, and that was back in like last August, April, whenever Toyota Headquarters Confidential was last year. Yeah, it was nice, but it had the AVS suspension on the back, so I've never really been in a Sequoia that just had just normal suspension for a Platinum. But if I was to get a Sequoia again, like, hey, John, here's all the Sequoias in a lineup. go pick one, I would pick a Blueprint. I would pick a Blueprint Platinum. Holy crap, say that like 3 times fast. I'd pick a Blueprint Platinum most likely if I had to pick a new Sequoia again. 30A is badass. The whole area is beautiful. Yeah. So when my aunt was in town, my aunt and uncle, they stayed at an RV park in Santa Rosa Beach because they drove their RV down, and their RV's crazy. It was so beautiful. But we stayed they stayed at the RV park. So spent a lot of time down 393 in the 30A area, just right down there. And like, even though I only live 20 minutes, like if that, I mean, depending on traffic, from 30A, like it was a completely different area than Destin. Like it feels so cool down there, and it's very nice. Now it's getting very touristy and lots of traffic, but it is a very cool area. Are you running the DRZ Stealth light bar on the 4Runner grill? If so, any follow-up comments or issues? I'm considering it and would love a follow-up. I'm not even sure if they're honestly still selling it anymore, PJ, but I'm not anymore because I have the Cali raised bumper on the bottom of the 4Runner now, right there. So I have the Cali raised bumper on the 4Runner, and I just was taking the bumper on and off so much for like YouTube videos that it kind of got in the way. So I took off the one up here of the DRZ, and then when the bumper got onto the 4Runner, I took the Ragu hidden light bar mounts out. So I'm not running any of those anymore, but I don't think that they're making them anymore. I haven't seen any affiliate like dings for them at all. So I'm not sure if he's honestly making them anymore. But I know Baja Designs and stuff, I think that they have some for the 4Runner as well that are kind of like that. But guys, we have been on for about an hour and like 20 minutes or so. So if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them into the comments. If not, I'm going to wrap up a video that will be live tomorrow morning. It'll be live pretty early because that is when embargo lifts on it. So I will let you guys use your creative imagination for that. But it will be an early one tomorrow. I'm just going to get it out there right away. There won't be that many people on YouTube very early in the morning, which isn't the best for views. But it is newsworthy to where I don't want to be posting it like in the afternoon when it's already been out there for several hours. So got that video to wrap up for you guys, but I think you guys you're gonna like that. But any other information or any other questions you all have, go ahead and throw them into the comments. Was this camera okay this time? Did it stay like high quality, or do I need to get better internet out in my garage? What has been your favorite Toyota of all time? Man, I don't know. So a scapegoat would be the 4Runner, right? Because that started the YouTube channel. It made everything possible, really. I mean, I always have wanted to do YouTube. I did it in high school and stuff, and never really had a niche or something to where like it was gonna start being something more than just like funny videos. So like I would want to say the 4Runner just because of memories in it and everything. But like the first white Tundra that I had, like it was just, I don't know, it was just something new and something special. Like it was cool. Like a lot of memories in that truck, like recent memories. But I probably have to say the 4Runner this 4Runner has been my favorite for just like what it's offered in terms of life, I guess. But my like favorite one to drive, if I just had to get keys of a vehicle, would probably be my new Platinum Tundra. And no worries, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Non-Toyota question. Any suggestions on what kind of business would drive or thrive in Destin besides restaurants? And even restaurants, like they're so hard to like really thrive here. Like I see so many open up and shut down. It's so crappy just because it's so hard to get help.
Really, a thing that I know would thrive and do really good here, and there's just unfortunately no land for it unless you go into the Santa Rosa area and like just pay buku bucks for it. But it's something like a Top Golf or like a whole. If I had the money, or if you want to email me or something like that, and we get a bunch of investors involved, I don't know, man. We'll figure it out. But like just like either a Top Golf or just a arena, like a not a main event, but something like that, like just something that just had arcades and bowling and putt and like uh, um, electronic golf carts, like not golf carts, like go karts, like K1 speed style, right? Like just have all of this stuff in one place, and virtual golf, like more than 2 bays. Like, because when I was in Korea, you had literally like virtual golf booths. Like these buildings had like 20 of them in them. And it was a private thing. You got to shut the door. You play with your friends. You could bring drinks and all this stuff. Like BYOB in this golf place, you play like 18 holes and it's all virtual. And you're just sitting there with your friends. It's not like these open bays and everything. So just more entertainment here and more stuff for locals. That is the main way to prosper, I feel like, in Destin, is don't cater to the tourists, cater to locals, and the tourists will tag along, basically. Cool. The video quality looks fine. I appreciate it. Sam says, what's up, John? When you installed the Cali Race bumper, did you notice any change in front end weight? Did you change the springs out or anything to accommodate the weight? So personally, I really didn't. At the same time, too, we did the Westcott leveling kit. So like I never put the bumper on stock to like bring down the front end and like really rub on anything. So I didn't really notice anything, honestly. It handles fine. My MPGs is a little bit lower, but I put bigger tires on in the lift and some weight up front. So the 4Runner is rocking around 16 and a half, 17 miles per gallon right now. A lot of city driving though, so it's whatever. But not really, because the bumper is not incredibly heavy. Now, if you were to put a winch on it, then yeah, that may make it sag a little bit, and you may want to put some heavier duty springs up on that. Solid Wolf says, hey, John, hope all is well. Glad you got some time to vacation and enjoy life a little while. It was very nice. It was nice. Caught up on a lot of things at the house, caught up with family, went to California, went to Texas. Family came here for about 4 days to 5 days. So it was very, very nice. It was a nice time to relax a bit. But like I said, we got content tomorrow coming, information that people have been, well, not really information, but some stuff that people have been hopefully wanting for a while. And then we got Tundra stuff. We got Tacoma stuff, getting the Tacoma back on the channel this last month, because the Tacoma is supposed to be a 6-month truck. We bought it late January, so 6 months plus January is around June. We're in June, so we're going to be wrapping up the Tacoma build, doing some last bit of reviews on products that have been on the Tacoma that I've been kind of using on the behind the scenes that I, haven't been documenting every single time I like turn on the Tacoma and drive it, right? So we'll be documenting some stuff on the Taco, and then either giving that one away or selling it. It's going to be not tricky to sell, but I want to obviously get close to what it's worth, but not overcharge someone, right, for it. And I don't think people will pay a crazy amount of money when the 4th generation Tacoma is coming. So it'll be interesting to see how that sale goes for the Tacoma. And then the 4Runner, we got the cat guards from Cali Rays to install onto the 4Runner to show you guys that content. And then just more Tundra stuff, like lots of Tundra stuff coming in. So, but then at the end of the day too, we got more Toyota information as well. Like when this Land Cruiser comes, that will be content. And the next thing we know, we're hopefully driving the Tacoma, and then we got a brand new Tacoma in the driveway, right? So to build that up. So it'll be a lot of fun. But it's been a nice couple days, you guys, or a couple weeks. You guys seem to enjoy the GR content as much as possible. I know that doesn't go good on the channel, but the GR content was fun. And then short form content for me is cool. YouTube got rid of YouTube stories. I guess they don't do stories anymore or let you post stories. I just posted whatever I post over there on Instagram over here on YouTube. But I guess they don't do stories anymore or anything like that. But I like doing the short form content because it's just, very quick videos to just get
going. And then the polls too. I like doing the polls, and I like doing the questions a lot. Ever since YouTube like did questions, I try to do one like every other day or something like that, like just Toyota trivia, to see if you guys are see how much you guys know, and hopefully some of you guys do it like organically too, and like don't look it up first and just try to guess to see if you really know. I may have to pick your brain about some Airbnb stuff. Gonna be getting started with that soon. Heck yeah. Just DM me either on Instagram and I'll try to get to you, or my email is always on my About Me page on my YouTube. So I try to stay on top of things on my email. Sometimes emails fall through the cracks and I'll get to you in like a couple weeks, but I try to stay on top of that stuff. And Daniel says, excited to see the 37s on the Tundra. I am too. And when I made that short video on putting the Tundra in the garage, I did not think about how tall the Tundra would be. So hopefully the Tundra isn't taller than 7 feet. That would be ridiculously tall, because it is a platinum. So, I mean, the tires are going to bring it up like 4 inches over stock already, like with the tires, because the tires that are on the Tundra are puny tires. So the tires themselves, the 37s, I mean, they're going to bring the truck up at least 4 to 5 inches in itself. And then the lift kit on top of that, we're probably going to do it at around 3 inches. So the truck will go up. It's going to go up quite a bit. Thank God for the automatic running boards. But I'm very, very excited to be putting the tires on the truck. It's going to be sick. The truck right now, after our vacation and road trip, and my wife's been driving it around in the city, and I've been driving it too. We've been going to Lowe's a couple times with it. She just took it to Panama City Beach to our Airbnb to do some stuff over there. And it's sitting at about 19.7. So it's gone down a little bit, but it's sitting at about 19.7, which is nice miles per gallon. So I guess when I made that one update video of it sitting at 16, that really wasn't that bad, because with all the idle time, the towing the trailers with it, the back and forth renovation stuff, like even in that video, I said that 16 and a half, I think it wasn't horrible for like how much we've been using the truck. But now that we got a good amount of like 1,800 highway miles on it, or well, it was about 900 highway miles after I reset it coming back with the intakes. So we have that, and then probably 400 more miles we've put on it since we've been back home with some city driving and like our freeway driving here. And it's only gone down to like 19.6, 19.7. We'll see what it's at when she comes back. But yeah, so the truck's getting decent gas mileage. I don't know what it would have been if I didn't have the intakes in it, because Brian, the intakes are doing pretty good. It sounds great. And the 19.6 or whatever the truck's at right now, it's in the 19s. That's with me giving it a little bit of pedal. So I'm sure that the intakes would increase your gas mileage a little bit, because, I mean, on most vehicles it does, like getting better airflow. I know the computer compensates for things, but the consensus, like with the truck flowing better with better air, is like 9 times out of 10 people will say that you get increased miles per gallon when you put in aftermarket intake on the vehicle. However, I do give it like that little bit of pedal just to like just to hear the turbos spool up a little bit. I enjoy hearing it. I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, there's not that much growl like out of the box. Like for the Tacoma, like there's a good amount of like growl out of the AFE box for the one that I put in the Tacoma. The Tundra doesn't have the growl. So that was something that was a little bit disappointing, because I hoped that it would have a little bit more growl. But even like SMB, they have their intake box too. And people are saying that have put those in that there's no growl really either. And even though, and like the SMBs, I guess, are kind of quiet. Like these ones here are louder for the Tundra. And then also talking about the ride quality, this is going to be an interesting video that I'm going to record tomorrow for you guys. Is one last, well, that's if we go to Yo Mafia on Friday, which we should, is just, well, I could actually record it Friday too, is one last drive of like how the truck is stocked to remember it, because it drives so good and so quiet. And then we're going to lift it, and then we'll see how the ride quality is. All right. So last few questions. I know. If you were given a blank check, would you stay in Panama City or move somewhere else? So I actually live in west of Panama City in the Destin Fort Walton Beach area. But if I was given a blank check, where would I live? I would go south more in Florida, and I would be in Tampa area, like the Tampa area, on 5 to 10 acres. There's this area there. It's called Odessa, and or even maybe Ocala, Florida. One of those two, either Ocala or Odessa. And Odessa is nice because like Tampa and Clearwater Beach is like right over here, and then or Clearwater Beach is right here, and you have the Gulf, and then you have Tampa and like all these other surrounding cities and stuff around it, and then cities going up, and like right where my face is at, right here, there's this area called Odessa, and it's like farm. It's like farmland in the mid, but you're 20 minutes from the beach. You're right there next to a grocery store, so you have like all the benefits of having your own land and homesteading, but you're like in the heart of Tampa still. So blank check, that's where I'm going. 10 acres, 2,500 square foot house, nothing crazy, and a ginormous 5,000 square foot shop. That's my blank check. Where else do you post your Airbnb other than the Airbnb platform? Where we live, it's called the Emerald Coast. So Emerald Coast by owner. And then also VRBO is where we post both of them. And then we have a bunch of repeat guests and stuff too sometimes, which is nice. One thing to note about Tundra issues, remember 27 to 28 or 2007 to 2008, the start of the second generation, the 5.7 had major issues. Huge. This is so true. If you go and look at these trucks, like when they did that, and not only that too, but look at the 2014 model year, I think, is when they had the refresh, or either 14 or 15 is when the Tundra had the refresh. Tons of electrical issues too with the refresh. So obviously with a truck that has been out for 15 years, right, since 2007, a platform, it's going to get better and it's going to get reliable. And now the new truck comes out that has some issues, and people are like, oh my God, old reliable, whatever. Yeah, dude, let's see where this third gen Tundra is in 15 years, right? No, I agree with you, Lord. Like that's what people don't see, is they see what's right in front of them, right? Instead of like, well, hold on, what's the whole process? What happened in the past and stuff too. So very, very, very true. Now we'll see, this may come to bite me in the butt in 15 years if the truck has a shit ton of issues, right? But statistically, Toyota gets better with their stuff. Toyota isn't one to make a bad product intentionally. I just want the sound. No, exactly. So the turbo noises are there, Brian, for sure. Sometimes too. So I took the AFE little pucks out of it, right? So the front of the box allows more air through it as well, but it's been so hot, so that may actually be decreasing power, but it allows for a little bit more sound. So like if you roll into the throttle a little bit, it'll go like not like a high pitch like turbos, but it's like really sucking in air. So you just hear just go like it sounds so cool. And I took the V8, the fake V8 noise out, so I could like really hear the turbos, and it sounds awesome. William says, as a 4Runner owner myself, would you ever see yourself getting an electric Toyota? I would. And I'm not about the full EV movement, not getting like a political side of that, but like I'm not about this full EV push. I think it is horrible. I think we don't have the infrastructure to sustain it. There is no clean way to recycle these EV batteries. And the lithium mines that are just, those look so bad. Like it's so bad. But I would do an electronic Toyota, like their primes, right? So I like the prime factor of it because you have the benefits of both. You have the benefit of EV, but it's not a fully EV car where it is taking out so much of the core stuff of the earth, like to build those batteries. Like I know that the earth makes stuff like for us to use as humans, right? Like that's how all this came to be, but you're not. So when I was in DC, it was a very cool auto show because it was kind of political auto show, which I didn't know that that's what DC really was for that stuff. But Toyota made a very, very good case that for a wheelbarrow, they were talking about a wheelbarrow, and you could have this whole wheelbarrow stacked with material that was pulled from the earth to make one fully EV car, one wheelbarrow. So imagine all these EV cars, right? And like, let's just say like someone is mining all this stuff like a full wheelbarrow, or that same wheelbarrow. And I don't know if these numbers are exact. You can find the PowerPoint online. Or this one wheelbarrow could make 9 prime cars. So you're talking about a car that you would get 40 miles of EV range on, give or take, right? And then after that, it would be a fully hybrid car that still doesn't pollute like crazy and everything, but you don't have range anxiety or anything like that for road trips. You still get 40 miles a gallon on the highway. Then when you get back into a city, you plug it in and zip whatever EV mode if you want. Or that same wheelbarrow could make like 30 Prius Primes. So like that's Toyota's push. Is like Toyota doesn't want to go full EV, right? They can make all these prime vehicles. So prime, that's where I'm at. You get the power of EV and the power of gas. And personally, I think that that's the best way to go. So yes, I would do an electronic Toyota, but there would have to be an internal combustion engine involved as well. What is your opinion on a hybrid 4Runner? I'm personally, so that ties into William's question. I'm personally for it. I mean, hybrid now is not like a Prius of the past where it's just like a battery when the vehicle shuts off at a stoplight, right? Like hybrid vehicles now, they have power, they have oomph, they have good low end torque like with it. I mean, when I got out of the Tundra to drive the Sequoia or vice versa, like the Tundra drives great, it's awesome, but having that electronic hybrid powertrain like assisting the already powerful gas engine, it was really nice. So I'm super excited to see how the Tacoma drives, the iForce Max in the Tacoma, because if the 4Runner has that same powertrain, it may be a rocket. And the 4Runner has never been properly powered, except for when there was the V8 in the 4th gen. And even that V8 was a little lackluster, right? Like it was nice to have a V8 with good low end torque, but that was really the only time that the 4Runner had a decent powertrain, right? Like even going back to the 1st gen, like unless you got a manual, like to really go through that 22 RE, like it was, the 4Runner's always been underpowered. It's always been underpowered. Maybe the 3rd gen with the 3.4 is like the only one that like felt good because it's a lighter, smaller vehicle. But other than that, in my opinion, the 4Runners are always been underpowered. So if it's a hybrid performance-based motor, like not for speed or anything like that, but like for good low end torque, I think it'd be good. I don't see your email in the section here. I'll DM you on Instagram. Let me check to see if my email's still there. Not saying that you're wrong. So if you go to my channel, you go all the way to the right and it says about. It says details down at the bottom. It says for business inquiries. You just click view email. It's bluetrdjon@gmail.com. BLUETRDJON@gmail.com. I'll try to get your DM though. Instagram is horrible with DMs. It may get lost. Instagram's so horrible with DMs on how they do it. Living in Alaska, EV would not work great. Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. The cold climate kills the batteries. However, I would also get a prime model Toyota having both electric and gas available. Exactly. Like there's certain climates where it does not work at all. Most of the world's cobalt for batteries comes from DRC, and it's almost, yeah, exactly. Like the stuff that I hear, I mean, and I've seen photos too, right? And they quickly get taken off the web. It's bad. It's so bad because there's no like good labor laws or anything there like that, right? It's just whoever can get it the fastest, whoever can get it the cheapest. It's not freaking good at all. Purchase a 2003 4Runner now or wait for the possible 2024 4Runner hybrid. 2024 model year 4Runner will be 5th gen right there. So you could buy a 2024 unless Toyota throws a curveball, but you can buy a 2024 this year because most likely the 2025 will be the hybrid. I feel like whichever is the last year of the 5th gen, you could buy it and enjoy it because there will be those that don't want a 4-cylinder 4Runner if it ends up being that rumored powertrain, right? So the 5th gen 4Runner is going to hold its value I really see the 5th gen 4Runner holding its value just like the FJ Cruiser. That's my gut feeling for it. Have you had lunch with Toyota Jeff? Oh, yeah. Had lunch with Toyota Jeff. I've had dinners with Toyota Jeff. When we were in New York, we had pizza together. And Jeff just called me today about the videos that we're making for tomorrow. So Jeff and I talk quite a bit. Name 3 reasons why you love today. Wondering what your first car and what led you to Toyota. So the thing that I love today is we have a cage in Florida. You have a freaking screen. You have a screen that goes over your pool for mosquitoes and stuff. And we've had tons of pine needles all up in that since we bought this house like 2 years ago, and it just kept adding to it. And I get out there with the blower and try to blow them off, but like the pine needles go through and they stick there. So finally, I got all my equipment today that came in from Amazon. I had a long extensions to be like 8 feet or so with my power washer. I had a little turbo nozzle. I was just out there today, man, just had my podcast in, and I was just going with it and just getting all the pine needles out, clean the whole cage. So that's why I love today, is that there are no pine needles, at least right now, until another storm comes over our pool, which is awesome. My first car was a 1995 Toyota 4Runner SR5 3.0 liter automatic, unfortunately, 4-wheel drive, super clean California car. Sold it for like under $4,000, which crazy, right? And it had like 138,000 miles on it. Very clean vehicle. And what led you to Toyota was that. That was my first vehicle. My mom had a Celica in the past, and my dad had like a Toyota pickup. And I've just always liked the 4Runner, just always liked Toyota. And I just wanted this 4Runner again. I don't know why. Like the 4Runner was my first vehicle. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed off-roading with it. And then when I was in the military, I was like, I can have whatever vehicle I want that I could afford. So then I was able to get that. And have I been recognized by fans locally? I actually have. It's kind of crazy. It's very weird. Like, it's not something that I ever expected like to happen, you know? When do you think the first drive events for Tacoma will be? Later this year? I would say Q4 of this year, because if it's anything like the Tundra with a release like November, December timeframe, hopefully the event is like September-ish into October, maybe, hopefully a little bit before. But usually Toyota's been doing these drive events about a month and a half-ish prior to the release of the vehicles. Do you think that there will be a refresh for Tundras for 2024, or do you think that they will stay relatively the same style, etc.? They will stay most likely the same. Some people have DM'd me about things that are happening for the Tundra, but I don't want to say anything yet. One, because I don't know how true they are. But most likely what it's going to be is just some package change-ups, a couple new colors, it seems like, for it too. But no crazy like redesigns or anything like that yet. No mid-cycle refreshes yet. I mean, it's only been out for a couple of years. Maybe in a couple more years, there'll be the mid-cycle refresh for it, but I don't think we'll have that yet. So definitely some trim updates for some certain trims, some packages potentially for some certain trims and colors. And then last question from David. How much do you think the GX will be? Thinking about selling my 2022 Nightshade 4Runner. So the current GX right now is actually decently priced. Well, I mean, it's still older, but I think that with the LX being around the 90s to $100,000, I think that the GX will probably be, what is the current GX at? I just looked this up the other day. 2023 GX. I think it starts in the like high 50s to 60s, doesn't it? So the GX 460 starts at $58,000. So I would hope that the new GX starts at like 64 to 65, right? I mean, yeah, that's a big jump, but like if it started like low to mid 60s and then like topped out like at 80, I think that would be
I think that would be honestly okay. You guys can let me know in the comments if you think that's stupid, but I think like with how old the last GX is and with how much this new GX has, it basically has the Tundra motor in it too. I don't know. I think low 60s to just knocking the door of $80,000. That way there's still that big gap before the LX. That's what I hope. So guys, that's about it. I appreciate you all coming for a random live stream. I am back. We got some more content coming. Early video tomorrow for you guys. Maybe I'll throw another video in towards the evening of my driving experience on the Grand Highlander. If I'm able to wrap that one up, I should just finish that one up for you guys. But that is it. I appreciate you all spending some time with me today on Wednesday night. Y'all go do whatever you got to do. It's almost 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So you guys have a great rest of your evening and a great day tomorrow and a great rest of your week. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.